First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for coming to London. Welcome to London. Welcome to the 22nd edition of our conference. And it's, as you'll see from the slides in the next few minutes, we have the world here. And for Isokinetic as a group, we feel honored that you've taken the time, and particularly from the world of football, to be here. And in conjunction with FMARC and the FA, the first thing for me to say is welcome and enjoy the weekend. This is the point of being here. And this is a very famous tapestry of the world from an Italian artist, Boetti. And you'll see from the next slide, these are the people that are here. So we have our own tapestry of football medicine. We have 77 countries. We span the globe. So in some ways, we're creating our own map. And everyone here is very much part of that. There are some that couldn't be with us, though. The UK border agency aren't always as helpful with visas. So there you'll see our friends in Vietnam, the national team in Vietnam. Also, the Afghanistan national team doctor wanted to be here, but again, from a paperwork perspective, he couldn't. So this photo here is of the under-14 team, Afghanistan team, playing in Nepal about 3 weeks ago. The message for this weekend is communicate with the world, communicate with the people that are in this room, communicate with the people outside of this room. There are people that want to hear about what's going on here, but also couldn't be with us. So in front of you there, you'll see the hashtag for FMS Live, the conference brand on Twitter, and 3 handles, three specific channels that we have for Twitter. So if you see something that you enjoy, if you take a picture, please share it, because the way that we work in the world today is a communication across the world. So who's in the audience with you? You have 1,400, nearly 1,500 delegates that will be here over the weekend. We have a nice split of ages, and in terms of the mix of doctors and physiotherapists, some coaches, some scientists, it's the real multidisciplinary team. So you very much in your daily practice work in team, and the people around you are your colleagues and those that are, maybe you sat opposite on a bench at a football game. So use the opportunity, use the time away from the game to talk, to share experiences. This is a wonderful photo, not because it's an attractive Italian man with a beautiful girl, but more because this photo represents somewhat of a dream. It was taken in Bologna in December 2011. You can see behind there is a very strong Union Jack, very strong British feel to the photo. Stefano Della Villa is the president of Isokinetic Medical Group, and really a driving force behind why we're here today. His passion, his desire to work in a team, to communicate with the world. In some ways, this is the reason that we're here. To his side is Kirsty Burrows, our first international recruit for Isokinetic Medical Group in London. We opened a clinic here in November the 11th. The 11th of the 11th is a favorite number for us and a lucky number in football. She came to us because she went to a conference in Kuala Lumpur, an AFC and FIFA conference. She was working in Singapore at the time. She was from Southampton in England. She spoke to Stefano, and then she took herself from Singapore to work in Italy for a year. And she's part of the new team that we have here in London. So we have a clinic that is open for business, and also this time next year we will open 10,000 square feet of rehabilitation space at 11 Harley Street. Our landlord, Howard de Walden, are here, and I encourage you to see their stand whilst you're here during the weekend. And for them, they believe in the strategic vision of being international, and they believe in the globalization of knowledge and London being part of that international map. We also want to be part of bringing together the football medicine family. Not all of the badges of the teams that are here today are up behind me, but we have something around 100 clubs represented, which ranges from the Bayern Munich and German national team to Aldershot Town to semi-professional football through to our friends from Brazil. This time next year will be really a carnival of football, and it's very nice to have 11 members from Brazil here. So again, you're very, very welcome. What I wanted to do is also just reflect on what this year means in England, and I'm going to ask Ian Beasley, Dr. Ian Beasley from the FA, to come up now and just say a few words, because the FA has been very much part of the organisation of the event and co-hosting, and on Monday we will be at Wembley, but also it's their 150th anniversary, and I think just we need to stop for a moment and just reflect on that history, so I'll invite Ian to come and say a few words.
Thank you very much. Call blimey, Gov, do us a favour, sherbet dab, apples and pears. I've always lived in London, and that's Cockney rhyming slang if no one knows what it is. The translation probably won't be readily available to you, but all I can say is welcome to London, and thank you very, very much for coming. It's a real privilege to me to be here and listen to Mike's great words. Stefano, Mike's absolutely right. It's a great driving force, but Mike, in lots of ways, is the engine that makes it happen. And without his ability to network and make sure that everything is running properly, I don't think we would be here, and I certainly wouldn't be here. He's always been very encouraging to me, and I'm very grateful for that. You may or may not know, I started my football medicine life at Leyton Orient 26 years ago, and if you'd have said to me then that I'd be standing up here now, I would have just laughed at you and tottled down Leyton High Road to the Tube. But again, thanks very much for coming. It's a real privilege to all of us. The FA football family, there are 50 or 60 of us here from clubs and that work with our national teams. And again, to take your time over a busy weekend and a really busy time of the season is testimony to what this conference offers. I'd like to say thanks to FIFA, of course, and to Jerzy Dvorak and Michel Dogue especially. Again, these people, to me personally, are always really encouraging and always very welcoming whenever I go to any events. They don't have to be like that, but they understand how important the football family is, and the football medicine family, and I must reference that. I think that's Mike Davison's terminology. He's the one that really has tried to drive the football family in medicine in this country. The other people I'd like to thank, of course, are the FA for employing me and giving me a wage every month. I'm not really sure why they do that, but you know, I've got a mortgage to pay like the rest of the world. Thanks again to everybody, to Isokinetic. Enjoy the weekend, and you know, if you are coming to Wembley, you know, come and find us if you want to see anything, go around and look at anything. Happy to take you around. You know, Gary Lewin and I share a very tiny office in a very big stadium, so I'll show you anything you want to see except our office. Thank you very, very much. What I'd like to do is introduce Alan Smith, who is a living Arsenal football legend and who I regularly see and stick needles in him. Alan has agreed to come along and talk really about his experiences. Like I say, when I first started at Leyton Orient, there was a physiotherapist who did everything, and I went in a couple of times a week into games. It really wasn't much of a football family within a small club, and now look at this. Alan, please come and tell us your experiences.
Good morning, everybody. I won't bore you for too long about tales of my dodgy knees and what have you, but my own football career actually came to a judger in Hull just down the road from here at Millwall, at the New Den, the glamorous surroundings of the New Den. And it was just an innocuous moment. Down by the corner flag, I tore my cartilage, no challenge. I was on my own, tore my cartilage and had to hobble off. I was in a lot of pain and just thought it was a standard cartilage procedure. But I had a couple of operations, one to snip the cartilage and then afterwards to microfracture to try and stimulate growth of the bones, top and bottom, and it didn't work. And after 4 or 5 months, the game was in the January. After 4 or 5 months, I had to retire, which was a really quick thing actually for me to deal with, mentally as much as anything. But I think it was quite unusual as well because normally these things get dragged out. And Gary Lewin, who was my physio at Arsenal and now of course with Ian at the FA, Gary has since said that it was one of the quickest instances that he can remember of a knee or bone degenerating that quickly. So I wasn't too lucky from that point of view. It's funny with injuries as a footballer. I think you always know when something's serious, and I was trying to get back fit. I remember running around the track at Highbury and I had loads of fluid on my knee and I just thought this isn't getting any better. And Gary reassured me and the doctors reassured me that I'd be fine, but as it turned out, I had to retire in that summer of '95. But I'd played for 13 years, I played for 5 years for Leicester City, came down to Arsenal, played for 8 years for the Gunners, had a fantastic time there, and didn't really experience too many injuries in my career. I was lucky, more often than not, I played 30, 40 games a season. But it came to the big one, and that was it. And it's not easy as a footballer getting used to life without your teammates and what have you. But I can't thank the likes of Gary enough and the medical staff at Arsenal. They've always been fantastic at that football club. I think they've always been known for really supporting their players, second to none. And having spoken to other lads from other football clubs, I think everybody was fairly envious of the treatment we got at Arsenal. So I can have no complaints on that score. And now Ian's trying to sort out my other knee, not the one that I had to retire with, my left knee. So it just goes to show that it's not good for you, football. It's a dodgy old game and you should steer clear of it as much as you possibly can. But it's lovely to see everybody here. I'm really pleased that I could come down, and I hope you all have an enjoyable few days. And as I say, thanks very much, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Alan. Just a couple of quick things before we start the proceedings. In front of you, you'll have a little program for the day. Within this, there is the most important thing, I think, is probably the map on the inside cover. What this tells you is that we're running parallel rooms. We have 4 separate tracks. In this first session is a plenary session. We're only in this room, and we're beamed down into the Churchill room. Thereafter, I encourage you to explore the building. Don't think that just the highest quality of the presentations are in this room. They're not. It's equal across all of the groups, and even when it comes to the free oral presentations as well, we have people from around the world, from Hong Kong, from Gambia, and I think it's very important for us all to go to those sessions and just reflect on how different sometimes the local conditions are, but fundamentally that we still look after the same type of individuals, the patient, the player. So it now gives me a great honour to ask the president of Isokinetic Medical Group to come up, Stefano Della Villa.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I think that the most important thing of a president is to respect the time. So I will speak maybe for 15 seconds. Because I want to tell you that you are a big family. You are the football medicine family. And as all the family, you need a father. And I'm so happy to introduce the father of this family. And I can call him maybe more a daddy than a father. And he's Michel Doug. And a big clap to Michel Doug. Michel is the FIFA and UEFA medical officer, but for me is also a big friend and the man that I would like to be the same in my next future. So, Michel.
Dear friends, it's amazing. It's simply amazing what you, Stefano, and your 150 collaborators have realized. Starting from Bologna, organizing in London, yes, the greatest meeting of football medicine all over the world. I can only ask the audience to applaud, to applaud, to applaud. A second reason to congratulate you is for the choice of what we will hear and see here during these 3 days, because you have really touched the actuality of the problematics in not only in sports medicine, but particularly in the specific football medicine. Also, therefore, congratulations to the guys who present the program, who made the program, and who will instruct all of us over these 3 days. Really, it's well done. That's the second thing I wanted to say. I want also, on behalf of the international world of football, FIFA, FMARC, UEFA, and so on, thank you for having the chance to participate to that lovely meeting and to perhaps also give a good contribution. You have seen, you were so kind to put on the program many of our friends of FMARC, of the FIFA Medical Committee, of the UEFA Medical Committee, and I think they have good information to deliver to the audience. Dear friends, in fact, I am emotional this morning, really. When I started in the international football in 1988 as a young member of the executive committee of FIFA, and there was a medical point on the agenda, well, that was time for the majority of the members to have a nice discussion with their neighbor or to go out to smoke a cigarette. Times have changed, because now more and more everybody working in the field of football knows the importance of sports medicine, knows the importance of the health of our people, of our players, knows that also the results are depending of a good medical surrounding of our teams. And this has completely, completely changed. I am grateful for all that. This is not my merit, this is the merit of a large, large group of colleagues, doctors, physios, and so on. This is the result that we see here today. Permit me, before we start the scientific activities, to give you a philosophical approach. We all know the wonderful slogan of the Olympic Committee, Altius, Sitius, Fortius. Always higher, always stronger, always quicker. I think that today, in what we know in the relation with sport and pharmacology and medicine, it sounds more like a publicity message for a doping product. I think altogether we have to change that. We have to change Altius by respect. We have to change Fortius by integrity, and we have to change Sitius by fair play. And I think we, the medical people, we must be the guardians of ethics in the world of football, where ethics are so many times overcome by economical and other considerations. Beside our scientific work, I think this is perhaps also a message that you can take home after what I hope will be a wonderful Congress. Thank you very much.